The other week, Jujutsu Shenanigans and Jump Showdown dropped their collab, and honestly, it kind of sucked. Which is normally all I would say about it, but it was actually kind of fun. Now, don't get me wrong, the update is a hot, buggy mess, but the collab was not as bad as everyone was making it out to be. A good amount of the complaints I've been seeing have either been the most brain-dead takes or people just hating on Jump Showdown. Like, I was watching videos on this update, and some random ass dude was just glazing JJS like his life depended on it. It was so bad, I couldn't even believe what I was watching. Like, he was literally doing tricks on that shit. The amount of straight biased garbage I was hearing because of Jump Showdown just had me sitting there in shock. Which is surprising because I also don't like Jump Showdown. People are acting like playing Jump Showdown to unlock Chara is the worst thing to ever exist, while Realm Rampage is sitting right there. Playing Jump Showdown to get Chara is not that serious.
You have to.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why not? Why won't you
Play Jump Showdown.
Because
Jump Showdown.
kill my grandma, okay?
So now I cry about it online because I have the mentality of a 10-year-old.
I think I was literally the only person out of my friends who didn't want to play the Jump Showdown portion of the update. What? No, we're going to JJS. We're going back to JJS. That game fucking sucks. Which I think says something about how playing the game is not that deep. If you really don't like the game, just don't play it and move on. Another unjustified complaint that I've been seeing is people don't really like the way that Chara plays, and they think that means the update is bad. When in reality, people are just tweaking because the character doesn't play the same as other characters. Like, why are we surprised that the character that plays slow from a game that plays slow actually ends up playing slow?
Oh my god, I hate Chara because her combos take ages. She's so shit because her shortest move is like 6 seconds long.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
Another complaint people had is that Chara is kind of unbalanced, which it's not the whole truth, but like her ult is a little busted. And I know people are going to tweak out a little bit when I say this, but Chara isn't entirely unbalanced. You just don't know how to play against her. Chara just being something different in the game makes JJS players cry a little bit for some reason. I don't know why, but JJS players aren't the only one crying though. For some reason, people are also complaining about the Heian Sukuna boss from Jump Showdown being too hard. And I'm not a rocket scientist or anything, but what part of the name the strongest sorcerer in history made people think that this boss was going to be easy? Sure, fighting the boss alone is pretty tedious and insanely hard, but he's not supposed to be fought single-handedly. Heian Sukuna was made a boss with the idea that 16 people will be fighting him all at the same time. So, of course, when you fight him alone in your private server, your ass is going to get laid out a billion times. I'm so petty, I ended up fighting him by myself to see if people were overreacting, and it really wasn't as bad as people were making it out to be. A big complaint that I've seen is the fact that he has 3 one-shot moves, which, yeah, on paper sounds like a pain, but in reality, his one-shot moves aren't really that difficult to deal with. His cleave rush and his thin world-cutting slash can be dodged, whereas both versions of his world-cutting slash can be flat-out canceled. My first time fighting the boss in a public server, I don't think I even saw him use a single world-cutting slash because he just kept getting canceled every single time he tried. The only time I died to any of these one-shot moves was straight up just me being a dumbass in my opinion. When fighting him alone, it took me 31 minutes to defeat him. I also decided to run a quick test and invited Mick to come fight him with me, and the results were very different. Fighting with 2 people instead of 1, it took us about 3 minutes and 16 seconds to enter his second phase, and it took us 10 minutes to beat him all together. Keep in mind, we weren't even trying for a strategy or anything. We were literally just fucking each other over like the entire time. Though, as much as I'd like to say the boss fight was perfect and the update was the best thing ever and everyone's a bunch of crybabies, I can't really say that, and I have to be honest and point out the issues that I've come across while playing. Because even after like a few weeks of playing this whole collab, it's still kind of messed up. Like, I actually really enjoyed fighting Heian Sukuna when I was actually fighting him. And I know this isn't a collab issue and this is just a Jump Showdown issue, but holy fuck, I swear half of my time fighting the boss was actually just me running across the gargantuan size map. I think I genuinely spent 10% of my lifespan crossing the fucking map. Like, that shit has no reason to take that fucking long. Also, these stairs in the boss room leading to the train station, they're a teleport zone for Sukuna to prevent him from getting stuck. Which, yeah, sounds nice, but it's actually awful and leads to shit like this. I even supposed to do there? I'm pretty sure even if I wasn't a dumbass, I still would have gotten killed. And even though the stairs reset the boss, have fun if he spawns outside the arena, because he doesn't get reset if he's stuck outside for some reason. And oh my god, the Char boss in JJS is so much worse. Like, I personally don't mind the moves being a little longer than your average JJS moveset. My attention span isn't that cooked to where I can't handle my move being an extra 2 seconds long. But when the boss can use a single move that takes so long they regain almost a third of their fucking health bar and has a cooldown that's basically half a second long, I think there's a little more of a problem than a skill issue here. Even now, after multiple patches and updates, instead of fixing the problem and making it somewhat enjoyable, they basically just said fuck it and threw the mess into its own collab server and called it a day. So now if I want to play Chara against players in JJS, I basically have to sign a waiver to get my ass pounded because those servers include the boss that spawns every 20 minutes. Even the spawn time on Heian Sukuna is stupid. He has a 50% chance to spawn every 30 minutes the server is open. Like, Jimpy and Z had to have been losing it when coming up with half the stuff for this collab. Now, the update isn't good, but it's not outright terrible like people are making it out to be. The main issue I have with the update is how rushed it is, because I think the base system of the update is actually pretty cool. I like how JJS and Jump Showdown stuck to their roots and turned each other's bosses into their own version of said bosses. I also don't really mind them copy and pasting the movesets between games and tweaking them a little. I've actually always been very curious as to what that would be like. I don't really mind Chara and JJS. I think having another Battlegrounds character in the game is pretty fun. Same goes for Yuji and Jump Showdown. But I'm on the side of most of the community when it comes to some of her alt moves and finishers being insanely fucking long and having a shit ton of iframes. However, that's not a Z issue, that's a Jump Showdown issue. I just wanted to make this video because I've seen so many people jumping on the hate train because they didn't like the update, only to say the most brain dead things. Like, I literally saw someone say they should add Jump Showdown's Gojo. Like, why would they do that shit? There's like a billion other things that people are complaining about, which if you actually thought about it, you probably realize it's not much of a good complaint. But I think a good amount of the complaints I've heard are from the sweatiest JJS players saying something along the lines of, Chara doesn't fit in the game because her moves are actually 3 seconds longer than your typical JJS move. And it's like, bro, no shit, that's kind of the fucking point. It's not supposed to be something that holds competitive integrity, but more so just some random shit for people to have fun with. It's fine not to like the collab, whether that's because you don't like the way the characters play or just because you think it's unfun. However, I'm not seeing a whole lot of that, especially on the JJS side of things. It's mainly just people with cooked attention spans whining about getting hit by a move because it's 6 seconds long rather than 3 seconds long. But there's so many things that are like actually wrong with this update, and instead of people, you know, reporting it and shining light on those issues for the developers to work on for a next time, they just shit on the whole thing and make everyone unmotivated. But that's all I really wanted to talk about. If you're going to nitpick and criticize an update, please actually nitpick and criticize the problems with it and not just like minor little personal like preferences. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.